Fooling with LSD is like Russian roulette. I don't think it's like swallowing goldfish. I don't think it's spinning a hula hoop or crowding a lot of people into a telephone booth. I think, unfortunately, this can be a permanent, long-lasting, damaging situation. So I'm all for rebellion. I think a great deal of good can come out of it. I hope people who are considering using LSD, however, will think of some of these things. We don't know them all. We do know a few, though. And one of the ones that we really know is that they may be damaging themselves permanently.
Drugs are going to flip a lot of people out and probably kill a lot of people. But if they haven't the sense to find out all there is that's been written about anything they're going to use, and if they haven't the discretion to decide whether or not, in the final analysis, they're capable of handling it, then that's their problem. You will flip out, and that's how it is.
In the old days, the way to get out of a situation was boxing. If you want to earn a bit of money, you want to become a professional, you want to get a bit of money, people went to boxing. So, and it was physical. And it was more, the environment, the working environment was more physical. Now you look around and there's no jobs there for the kids. And same as anything else, they want to make a few bob. And then you've got the people who've got these drugs. Right, okay, go and sell these. Take them into schoolyards, where I know from personal experience, 11-year-olds have been given cannabis and things in schoolyards. And it comes down to an economic climate, if you like. That person will grow up to be 18, 19, perhaps meet a girl, get married. Drug problem is still there. The children see the parents with the drug problem, and it's just a never-ending circle. When the factories close down, and the docks closed down, and you've got the coal tippers gone from the docks. The BP closed down, then the steel company cut back, and then you've got all the building firms that were pulling up. Depression can do a lot of things to a lot of people. I can understand why these kids get so depressed and turn to something like drugs, alcohol, whatever. You know, it's a sad indictment of our society that at 30 years of age, you're on the rubbish heap.
It's not that the city was changed, it's the people that's changed.
We're different with the Fajrak, mais já o faço você como caralho, não sei mais nada disso. Şeyde, burada var, çok fazla ki de biraz kareli. If I didn't take any action of my agriculture plan, you would inshallah we'll get rid of Taliban and Al-Qaeda here, improve the security of the station, and more agriculture, more other situation. Everywhere oh yes, which villages need wells so we can start digging wells.
The world of human feelings has been much less explored, and the whole of the universe put together. But now it's late. What have we been doing all these thousands of years? We've been congratulating ourselves on our progress, going faster and faster and faster. When in reality, we've only been getting further away from ourselves. Lucy, take my place, will you?
Struggled with the question, how a civilization with such an extensive knowledge of math, science, and astronomy could become extinct. One popular belief, supported by much circumstantial evidence, is that the Maya outstripped their resources. Their extinction, coupled with the fact that the conquering Christians destroyed practically every record they could find, contributed to the enigma. Further adding to these losses is the fact that the most developed religious, mystical, and intellectual knowledge of their culture was only known by a small select group of shaman kings and priests. Today we repeat the same mistakes on a global scale, destroying information and resources that could hold the keys to our survival in the future. The keepers of this knowledge are the disappearing shamans of today, who preserve timeless ecological wisdom while embodying a lifestyle that puts them in harmony with nature. Aside from being priests and performing artists, shamans were the first medical specialists in indigenous communities who used traditional methods that have been effective in treating both physical and psychological ailments. Shamans play a crucial role in helping scientists discover the potentials of plants.
Halfway there, and suddenly I realized I lost this thing.
Your protection.
My protection. I thought, my God, what's going on here? Well, 2 years later, I'm now with the Anglo-Saxon shamans, and I repeated the story to them. I said, what's that all about? Why did this thing sort of like pop and vanish? I mean,
it lost itself, in other words.
In a way. He says it was a good thing that happened. He says because this is a Norse symbol of magic, and Norse magic doesn't work in that part of the world. Things circulate differently there. And it was good for you that that wasn't there. And in fact, they were talking about people who, misguided though they were taking crystals from different parts of other continents even, and implanting them around Stonehenge to enrich it in some way. Well, what's happened since then is rather remarkable. Stonehenge has now been screened by a great big fence, and people can't just walk into it anymore. The Druids can't even do their ceremonies there anymore. So it's like they really changed the whole energy of that place. So there's something to this. I mean, there's something to little things having some kind of resonant effect even in the ground. And crystals do vibrate, and it's very possible that there's some kind of vibrational entrainment that throws things off and makes people feel ill at ease when you have something like this going on.
But one of the other points you make is that shamans will do anything to affect your belief system, whatever they can do, because they need to work with that in the resonance. So in a way, it's kind of funny. It's like, how do you know that any of these principles are in any sense objective?
Yes. This was the most difficult thing I had to come to. First of all, let me address that point, and then I'll address the difficulty that I was having coming into the shamanic world in terms of my objectivity.
Yeah, we just have a couple minutes now.
Okay, but the first point is that shamans are like tricksters, and they will use conjuring magic to convince you that you need to change your ways in order for them to work with you. So if you're overlooking this and watching it, it looks, you could say, well, this is an obvious trick. He's not really pulling something out of the guy's stomach. But it depends on, what's important is what does the person who's having this happen to him believe? What do they believe? And in terms of objectivity, in terms of my experience with the shamans,
if it's your stomach, you may feel
differently. Yeah. But in terms of my own experience with them, I found there's no way I could look at these guys or examine them as Joe Friday, just collecting the facts, man. I had to really get involved, and that meant I became a participant. In a way, I entered a quantum reality with them. There was no way I could just observe them without myself being observed by myself, and that is something that is magical and wonderful, and taught me an awful lot about who I am and what my mythos is and what's running this being as it goes through the life process.
Well, there's so many levels of complexity. On the one hand, we have the mutual sharing of vibrations. On the other hand, we have the breaking down and creation of new structures of belief systems. And you just mentioned the whole notion of parallel universes, which is so important in shamanism.
Yes, the shamans are able to enter into other levels of reality which are parallel to our own. They can do parallel physical reality things. I don't and appear in different places at the same time. I mean, I didn't see this personally, but they told me they were able to do it. But they also are able to enter to the death realm, in which they can actually see living dead spirits coming alive.
Such a rich and deep topic, Fred, but our time has run out. Thanks so much for being with me, Fred Alan Wolf.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It was a real pleasure.
And thank you for being with us.
Because I was curious about it. I had several friends who had taken it, and they told me that they had, very good experiences with it, and I was just curious.
Well, I was curious what I read and what I've heard, and if it could help, I was just looking for something.
Sort of because I had heard it makes you not only closer with yourself, but with everybody, this sort of love, peace type thing. And I really wanted to find out if this was true.
It was a kick. It was a thrill. When I first started taking it, was to explore myself. Well, I found I could only go so far before I just ran dead up against myself, and I couldn't go any farther.
The fact of the matter is, the use of these drugs is on the rise, and interesting to inquire into cause and effect.
And an afternoon of tea for the ladies of Africa. They are too busy pounding rice for the next meal. Yet there are light spots in this dark land. Here is a beauty parlor. She doesn't put in permanent waves. She's paid for trying to take them out. Anyway, she's trying to take out something.
Reasonably similar. And I was in bed. And I was in bed with a young lady. And I turned and I looked at her face. And her face distorted into sort of a flesh-dripping monster face. The features became drawn and like jowls hung and she grew fangs. And I quickly turned my head away. And I told myself this couldn't be so.
I've been busted twice since then, hitting McCauley's. And they gave me Thorazine because they said that I was hyper. They said I needed to sleep. And I said that I could go to sleep myself. And they said, well, you should take this medicine. It should help you.
Thorazine. It looks like it tastes like gasoline. They give it to you when you're feeling mean. Thorazine.
They threatened me with Napa, and I'm only 16 years old, and I really don't think Napa is quite a place to spend the rest of your life.